Hi everyone, Dr. Lisa here. I'm here to talk to you today about your U.S. history writing assignments, the short papers from your major problems textbook. These are papers of a different kind than you've probably done before, unless you've had a class like this in the past. The reading in the major problems book is not your usual history textbook. That is, it's not just a narrative. Your other textbook, U.S. Narrative History, or some other kind of narrative book if you're in sports history, is a standard history textbook. And what that means is it gives you the story of what happened. That's sort of the entry-level type of history and the one that you've most commonly been exposed to in your earlier education in all likelihood. Major Problems takes a different tact, and it's definitely a step up in what it asks you to do and the way that it tries to engage you. So when you do the reading in the Major Problems textbook, it's important that you go through the entirety of the chapter and really think about what it is you're doing. So there's an introduction that starts each chapter that sort of sets the scene. It gives you a very brief narrative that should go along with what you've had in lecture or in your other readings. After that, there's a series of primary source documents. Those documents are from the era that we're studying in a given week. So these are the voices of the people who were there. Think of them like witnesses. They saw and heard and felt the events that were taking place. At the end of the chapter, there are two scholarly essays. These are secondary sources similar to what you would see in a textbook. They are historians telling you something about the events, but instead of giving you a narrative, they're making an argument. This is actually what historians do in the professional world. They use events and ideas to make a case. So here's the analogy I want you to think about. These are like courtrooms. These essays are trying to prove to the reader, and again, if we want to go with the metaphor, the jury, that their argument is correct. And so they have a thesis, they make an argument, and then they provide evidence to support that argument. And the key pieces of evidence are actually primary source documents. Again, think of them like witnesses in a courtroom. So for your writing assignment, your job is to do this sort of entry-level style by thinking about these two essays and picking a side in the debate that's happening between these two essays. Now, sometimes the essays are arguing directly against one another. Other times they're just thinking about things in a very different way. But it doesn't really matter which side you choose in the debate. What I want you to do is to pick the side that you think makes the most sense. And then in your essay, you're going to argue along with that essay. So think of it like doing what historians do, but with training wheels, for lack of a better metaphor. So come up with an introduction, something brief that sort of sets the scene. Explain what it is you're arguing, definitely citing your source from the essay that you chose. And then in a couple of body paragraphs, you want to present evidence. So that means you need to break out pieces from their argument and also, of course, bring in at least two of the primary source documents from that same chapter that coincide with the topic that you are addressing. So if you can do that, you can put together a logically written essay that makes an argument and presents evidence similarly to the way that these scholars have done, but you are arguing along with them. Be sure to cite all your sources, including the two primary source documents and, of course, the essay that you choose. And again, these essays are not designed to be very long, so we're looking for about 3 pages double-spaced with your citations. You don't need a works cited page separately from your footnotes, and you don't need a title page for these assignments. I'm not asking for that level of formality, but you do need formally cited Chicago-style footnotes. There are pages here on Canvas that you can use to find how to do that, or you can come talk to me in office hours, or of course you can schedule some others. Okay, that's it. The specifications for all of these assignments are listed in your syllabus as far as word count and formatting and all of that kind of stuff. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Good luck, and I look forward to reading your essays.